if you have soul wounds, right, in your soul that you have not addressed, and every time someone plays out or says something that is similar to what triggered the soul wound in the past, if the wound is not healed, that new situation becomes a trigger. Let me explain it differently. Assuming that you've struggled with rejection in the past, different things happen in your life and rejection just keeps happening. It's one of those things because of the altar of rejection, right? And now you've brought down the altar of rejection, okay? But while you were still dealing with rejection, there was a time that you went for interviews. I'm just using work as an example. You went for interviews and you were promised that you'll be hired, and boom, they never called you. Or they finally responded to your email like 4 weeks down the line and they said, I'm sorry, we changed our mind, right? That the fact that they first of all approved of you and told you they were going to hire you, and then turn around and boom, did what they did, it left a wound that you never dealt with. That is not deliverance. That is a soul wound, okay? Now, the fact that you've had serial rejections in your life, though, could be related to a deliverance issue. But the wound that took place in this one event, especially because you really wanted that job, you were qualified, they told you were the best of all the candidates, and then boom, they did what they did. Now, fast forward, you're at the edge of a breakthrough. God is about to restore you and give you a job that is better than that one. This is like the massive testimony that you're waiting to tell, okay? And the person that interviewed you told you how amazing you were. As a matter of fact, you've gone through a lot of character growth. You've even gotten a master's degree in between that time. So this time around, you're like super duper qualified. Like there is no reason for anyone to question that you are the girl for the job, right? They loved you. They were excited. Everything was going well. And then, boom, you didn't hear anything. They told you they'll call you on the 17th, but you didn't hear anything. And it's the 20th. Here's the thing. This time around, the woman genuinely had a family emergency and just hasn't been at work in the last 3 days. So she hasn't called you, has nothing to do with what happened in the past. But because you're not healed of that wound, the memory comes up of that old situation and begins to play in your mind. This is your mind now, right? Your mind is playing that situation. The devil is telling you that exactly how they shut the door back then, they're about to do the same thing. Fear kicks in and affects your decision making, and you begin to bombard the woman's phone, and you do something really stupid or dumb, like you begin to call her, or you leave excessive messages, or you begin to say things to prove yourself, and somehow she comes back to work. She plays all the messages, she sees all your emails, and she says, you know what? There's something not right about her. I don't think I'm gonna hire her. And at that point, she makes the decision not to call you again. It had nothing to do with demons. She already planned on hiring you. It had to do with a soul wound that wasn't addressed, and it affected your will and your behavior and your emotions, and it sabotaged that breakthrough. Did I help someone tonight? That ain't deliverance, that's inner healing. You've torn down the altar of rejection, though, and that was real. That was not fake. That stuff was real. But what took away the breakthrough was not the altar, because you've dealt with the altar, but the healing of the trauma that came with the altar had not taken place. That's why we need deliverance and inner healing. And you got to know when it's a deliverance issue, when it's an inner healing issue, when it's an issue of renewing the mind, which is the word of God. And that's what the whole balanced approach to freedom is all about.